outstanding hour in store for you last week. We promised you, if possible, an interview with Roddy Piper about his injury. Well, we had to go to Roddy Piper's house, but we've got it. We'll be showing you that a little later on. Right now, we have on tape a six-man tag team match with six-man tag team action. We want to show you just a portion of that. The contestants in this, of course, we've got Bugsy McGraw, Jimmy Valiant, Rufus R. Freight Train Jones, their opponents, Gary Hart, the Magic Dragon, and the Great Kabuki, as all six of them are really tied up and going at it in this tag team match. This is Rufus R. Freight Train Jones right here with a Dragon, and Gary Hart decided that he would enter this match. He would participate in the six-man tag team match in his street clothes. And Jimmy Valiant now looked like trying to rip the clothes off of Hart as they've got Gary Hart caught in the corner. Now all six of them are in the ring, and it was a wild time with this six-man action, as you might expect any time. You've got three men around like the Great Kabuki, the Magic Dragon, and Gary Hart. And, of course, Jimmy Valiant, Bugsy McGraw, and Rufus R. Freight Train Jones a little while themselves, and they all began to let it all hang out and turn loose right here as Rufus came along for the 1, 2, 3 and put the pin on him right there to win that match. And right here, Rufus R. Freight Train Jones. Rufus, that was great.
Hey, fantastic. I had me two great partners there, baby. We did to them 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of the ring there. Gary Holland Stream, baby. It's all over with him. We did it to him. Right, Buzzy, baby? Come in here and tell them about Buzzy.
Hey, brothers and sisters, it's a long way from all over. You understand? There are still things that have to be settled, and there are things out there and people out there that are only here for one purpose, and that is to destroy, baby. And they're not going to destroy myself.
All right, fans, right there in the ring, all decked out in that gorgeous robe. You're looking at the man who is proclaimed now as the greatest United States heavyweight champion of all time with that championship belt around his waist. There he is, the U.S. heavyweight champ, Greg Valentine. And we're going to be watching the champ in action right here on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling against young Ken Hall. As he takes the belt off now, we'll hand that through the ropes. The U.S. champ, Greg Valentine, Ken Hall at the bell. As Valentine is near the center of the ring, and Hall, who was doing the circling as the match got underway from behind, Valentine picks him up, slams him hard to the mat. That slam just sort of reminded me, fans, that, and let me remind all of you wrestling fans, that of the many holds in professional wrestling, one of them that's definitely illegal is the pile driver. And Dick Slater now is certainly aware of that. A little later on, we'll be hearing from Dick Slater also, as Slater was suspended for using that pile driver. It is illegal, and when you use it out of the ring, out on the concrete floor, if possible, that would be even more so. Here's Valentine with that wrist now as he twists and turns in with the elbow right down across the arm and the muscle of Hall. And as we mentioned, we have the interview from his home with Roddy Piper. We're most anxious to hear and see what Roddy Piper has to say about this man in the ring right now, the U.S. champ. Valentine working on that arm. Again, he had all of the weight right down across the arm as Hall now is driven right through the ropes with that elbow blow, the smash right to the back of the head, almost like a rabbit punch. He hit him a little above the neck, high on the head, and just sent him reeling right through the ropes. Hall hard off of the apron down on the concrete floor. Tremendous hammer blow right there from Valentine. Again, here is Hall off of the apron of the ring, down on the floor as Valentine just stalks him along the ropes in the ring. And again, he's got Hall draped across the ropes, and again, that tremendous blow from the champ. Now with the arm behind him, and Valentine's going to pick him up and slam him hard to the mat on the arm. He began to work on that left arm. He's going to stay right with it, and Hall already has taken a tremendous amount of punishment in the match. Slammed again hard to the arm with the arm behind his back and all of his weight and the power of that slam on that left arm. Valentine right now, he smells victory as again he continues to work on the arm, and it looks like he might injure that arm if he continues to work on it. And of course, Valentine, he injured Roddy Piper. Going back in time, he's injured a number of other wrestlers, and here he is on that arm, and the referee says, ring that bell. That's going to be all. Says, turn him loose, champ. Let him go. And starting to count on Greg Valentine as Valentine had to break the hold as he had that arm and applied the pressure. Watch in slow motion as he slammed him hard now into the ropes, again on the arm, and then the champ went to that arm and attacked that arm and stayed right with it to get that submission win. There he is, Greg Valentine, our winner. Well, as we mentioned earlier, and the champ is right here, and Greg, if you'll come in just a moment, because something I want you to watch along with all the fans out there, because now
I want to say one thing. At least this man here, Ken Hall, had enough sense to give up when I applied the pressure. He had enough sense to give up when he was in the ring with a hammer. Not like Rodney Piper.
All right, now, well, last week we promised all of the fans that we were going to try to get an interview with Roddy. We had to go to his house to get it, Greg. We want the fans to see it. You too. Here it is.
I'm not a quitter. I've never quit. The problem is, you see, I was losing my balance. They want to know what's wrong with me, and they don't know anymore. They don't think I can fight anymore. They stopped the match, and I was very angry when they stopped the match, because I'm a fighter, but I guess they did the right thing. When you're fighting, you don't feel it, and they don't really know. I know one thing. I got my wife and my baby, and that's lucky enough to have that. That's important to me. And she's still eating, and she knows Daddy's no quitter. I don't know what's going to happen, but just going to hang in there for a while.
All right, Roddy Piper, Greg.
How touching. Almost makes me want to cry a little bit. You know, Rodney Piper, I think you now finally realize that the National Wrestling Alliance did save your life. Because like I said before, you didn't have the sense to give up. You know, you look like you're not doing too well there, but I'm doing just fine myself. I went down the other day and brought me a brand new car. But you're not a man, Piper. A man would be able to walk down to the local grocery store and buy his little brand new born babe something to eat. But you can't even do that. Your wife probably has to drive you around. You can't even walk. You're not a man, Piper, and you've never been a man. Because you met Greg Valentine the Hammer. You insulted me. You tried to make a fool out of me. And you can see that Piper may never, ever wrestle anywhere again. He can't even talk. What happened to that Piper we used to know?
Hey, well, all right, now Piper's going to be back. Talking about being back, Greg, going back in time, there are other people that you hurt. One in particular I remember, and I know the fans will too, that's the leg of Wahoo McDaniel. And I know that stands out in your mind also.
You got to be kidding me. Wahoo McDaniel's
Wahoo is going to be back. Watch this right here, Greg, because we want you to hear from Wahoo McDaniel.
Fans, with us at this time, one of the greatest athletes to come out of the state of Oklahoma. You really don't need an introduction for Wahoo McDaniel, returning to the Mid-Atlantic area, and he's going to be facing the brand new United States champion, Greg Valentine, a man who seems to be rather outspoken. Wahoo?
Well, you know, Gene, he's claiming to be the greatest U.S. heavyweight champion of all times. And, you know, the man broke my leg several years ago, broke my ankle, and I was out about 3 or 4 months. And he seems to go around bragging. That seems to be the bright point of his career. Well, let me tell you something, Greg Valentine. I don't claim to be the greatest champion of all times, but I was the U.S. heavyweight champion for a long time. I wrestled a lot of great competition there, and I defended that belt to the best of my ability. Now he says he's the greatest of all times. Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm going to be coming to the Mid-Atlantic area in the greatest shape of my career. I'm ready. I've been traveling. I've been working out in the gym, you know, Valentine, and that's something that the Indian very seldom does, is go to the gym. I might jog and play a little golf, but I can promise you one thing. If you survive this match, you can go out and tell all your friends that you're the toughest U.S. heavyweight champion they ever had.
All right.
Because you'll dread the time that you ever heard the name Wahoo McDaniel's coming back.
Very good. Wahoo McDaniel to beat U.S. champion Greg Valentine. You won't want to miss it. Thank you.
And fans, right here we have tag team action for you. And from the House of Humperdinck, the one-man gang in Kelly Kaniski and Humperdinck right here with me. And Humperdinck, I tell you, these two young men that your opponents are giving your two a really pretty rough time at this point.
Well, take a look at Kelly Kaniski right here. Now, this young man I can't talk enough about. Since he's come under my tutorage, he's made tremendous inroads in professional wrestling and teamed with a one-man gang, a man that weighs 420 pounds. Can you imagine a combination of speed, skill, youth, and agility, and all that size?
Yeah, right. Kaniski is outstanding, any doubt about it. Just a tremendous athlete. Of course, he's got to hit scissors now on Rick McCord, and McCord's partner, Vinny Valentino, across the ring, and we don't see him at the moment, but the match has been going on for some time, and at this point, it's been a good match, hasn't it, Humperdinck?
That's exactly right. Kelly Kaniski now applying the pressure to the head and neck area of young Rick McCord. He's got that head scissors on. Believe me, he's putting a lot of pressure on the head and neck. Been working a lot with Kelly Kaniski. As you know, the leg muscles are the largest muscles in the body.
All right, and here comes the big man. This man right here almost defies description, Humperdinck. He is so big and so strong and powerful.
They asked me one time, how can I describe the one-man gang? All I can say is 6'9", 420 pounds, a fighting machine. Now take a look at the man, completely in charge of the situation, as he always is. You can see me lending my guidance and expertise at ringside, which is all I do. But the one-man gang is in well control of the situation right now.
Not only is he big and strong and powerful, as you just described him, but he also has the mental ability and attributes that you like in a professional wrestler, doesn't he?
That's exactly right. The gang and I are operating on the same wavelength. I don't even have to tell the gang a lot of times to do things. I just have to give him a look, and he'll know exactly what I want and when I want it. Now take a look at Mr. Kaniski. Again, a great amateur athlete, making great inroads in professional wrestling. He's going to be a superstar one of these days. You can mark my word. Into the ropes. Goes for that elbow. That's exactly right. Now the kid that he's wrestling, Ricky McCord, very good little wrestler.
Here's a man with a lot of speed and a lot of quickness. It's Vinny Valentino.
Yes, and tremendously strong by the physique. You can see that. But he's bitten off a little bit more than he can chew here tonight. Now, here we go.
It looked like he tried to pick him up and slam him.
They come from near and they come from far to try to slam the one-man gang and win all that money. But to this very day, my friend, nobody's done it. Take a look at this.
Oh, no.
420 pounds coming down on a man's body.
He's going to do it again.
Be enough to drive the air out of a person, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. In no way.
Take a look. 1, 2, 3, right there.
And he couldn't even get him off with a little help there. His partner, Rick McCord, he's going to give him another splash just for good measure, Humperdinck.
There it is. We had it from the moment we walked in, and we had it the moment we walked out. But right now, we're going to have a little contest of a different sort. As you know, I've been offering $5,000 to any man alive that can slam the one-man gang. Now, I've got a check here.
It's a check. It used to be money, Humperdinck.
It used to be money, but there's thieves running around here. There's a certified check in here for $7,500. I've upped the ante, and it'll go to Mr. Ken Timms if he can slam the one-man gang. Now, I'm talking about a body slam. Go ahead. Try it, Tim.
Ken Timms now is going to try to slam the one-man gang in the $7,500.
Body slam, Bob. It must be a full body slam. You can't just get him up parallel. It can't be done. He can't do it. Give him one more shot at it. One more shot at it.
All right, Humperdinck says
$7,500.
He has so far hasn't been able to get him off of the mat even. Get him off his feet.
Gang, first bill's due. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
And the gang now with that tremendous. And here's the gang got Timms in the air.
This is what they're going to get from now on from the gang and Humperdinck.
And drives him into the mat. All right. He's got a pair of scissors in his hand. He's going to, hey, Humperdinck, what is this?
Like I told you, I've got $7,500 here to anybody that can slam the one-man gang, but I'm sick and tired of putting up the money and getting nothing out of it. So from now on, everybody that tries, if you don't do it, baby, I'm going to take a little souvenir home with me.
All right, fans.
$7,500 now.
That's it, right here at ringside. All right, fans, and I tell you, that's a wild, rough time when you get Sir Oliver Humperdinck and the one-man gang up there with that slam. And Humperdinck, I tell you, it's amazing. Nobody has, to this point that I can recall, has even managed to get the gang's feet up off of the mat.
And they've come from all around the world. We've had a giant in here trying to do it, and he couldn't get the job done. So how do I entice more people into the web? Offer more money. $7,500 now to any man alive that can slam the one-man gang. I'm talking about any man. Dusty Rhodes, come and try. Barry Windham, if you're a man, you'll come and try, but I know I'll never see your face. I know the one-man gang. is the biggest athlete in the world today. I'm not even counting Andre the Giant as a big athlete.
Andre the Giant is the biggest.
He whipped him. Take a look at the man that beat him. I'm talking about now the ante is up to $7,500. But I'm sick of putting it all on the line every week like I've been doing and getting nothing back. Just letting people try to win money. From now on, I'm taking a little something home from everybody that tries, that doesn't do it, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, a little lock of hair. They're going to pay the price, $7,500.
Yeah.
Pay the price!
If they can do it, $7,500. If they can't do it, they pay the price, they pay the piper, and I'm the man.
$7,500. When you start cutting the hair, that sort of demeans a man a little bit. That
sort of
begins to
humiliates
hurt him
one,
and
doesn't
humiliate
it?
him. That's right.
Maybe Mr. Timms, when he comes back to try again, will get a little bit more down deep, get a little bit deeper down inside him and try a little bit harder because he knows what's going to be waiting for him if he doesn't succeed at his task. He's got $7,500 dangling in front of him. Laid it out. All he's got to do is pick him up off his
All right,
feet.
Humperdinck, you know, a lot of things have been tried in the past, and a lot of people have said a lot of things are impossible. And you know, you come down to the fact that nothing really probably is impossible, and there's going to be a man come along that's going to do that.
I am $7,500 worth of sure. That's how sure I am that nobody alive can slam him. Nobody, not a man alive. The Giant can't do it. Do you think anybody can? Who do you think can do it?
Well, let me see. Humperdinck,
so you
hit
can't
me
even
right
come up
there.
with a name.
Well,
yes.
I can come up with
Nobody
some strong
can do
guys.
It.
I
the
can
biggest
think
came, the biggest tried. Rick Steamboat's a tremendous athlete,
he could
great
probably,
physique, but he could never do it. He could never pay the price. He wouldn't even venture. He wouldn't even attempt to try it, knowing what he's got to lose.
All right, fans, and that's it right here at ringside. Fans, with me right now, Jack and Jerry Briscoe. And last week, fans, right here on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, you saw the match that we'd all been looking forward to seeing with the World Tag Team Champions, Rick Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, against the two Briscoe brothers right here. Well, I tell you, now they're saying that Jack tried and deliberately tried to hurt their leg. We've got that on tape. We want all of you fans to look at it again, along with Jack and Jerry Briscoe right here, so let's watch it.
Steamboat's ready, he's in, and he is definitely fired up.
Here's his top dive from Rick Steamboat. Briscoe staggering around the ring. Into the rope. Here's Jack in. He gets the chop. A double thrust now from Steamboat.
Throws Jack out of the ring. But Jay has him up. Picks Jerry up. On the knee. Holds on to it.
And he's got that leg again in that knee. Look at him go to work on the knee and the leg.
He's thinking of when his knee was hurt. And he's figure four dropping.
He was going to go with a figure four.
Jay quickly grabs him. Sets it up. Figure four on that leg again. The bad knee. Jay's going out. Wait a minute, look at that.
And he's still got it locked in. Jay trying to get in. Here's the referee. Look at Jack Briscoe.
Jack across the knee again.
All right, fans, and there it was. And Jack, Jerry, that's the controversial part of the match.
Steamboat deliberately tried to hurt me, threw me out of the ring here on the cement floor, deliberately trying to injure me. I look back up in the ring, and there's Youngblood and Steamboat both on my brother, so I go in there and save my brother.
All right, and Jerry, what are your comments about that?
Well, that's exactly right. I looked up there, and all of a sudden I saw Jay Youngblood look like he was going to chop me right in the throat. And I guarantee you, if it hadn't been for the aid of my brother, I might not be able to stand out here and talk to you today.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Nelson right here.
I can't believe you two guys. You were great friends with Steamboat and Youngblood. You wanted a chance at the belts. You said you'd wrestle them for them. I thought the first time it was a mistake. Now, Jack and Jerry, you told me it was an accident. But after that right there, you tried to hurt him. You tried to put him out of wrestling. Those belts mean more to you than anything, just like Slaughter and Canodal. You stooped that low, a former world champion. You're a coward, Jack Briscoe.
I'm a coward. I'm a coward. You don't call me no coward.
All right, and Jim Nelson calling Jack Briscoe a coward, so get in the ring. And Jack, all right, now wait, Jack's got his
turned into nothing but a stooge for Youngblood and Steamboat. He's completely losing his mind. He's the one that caused an awful lot of trouble there.
Jack's got his street clothes on, his boots, and his jeans. And here goes Jack with a knee drop right down across Jim Nelson. With a boot to the forehead now, a couple of licks at Nelson. And Jack Briscoe whips Briscoe in and off of the ropes, and with a foot right to the midsection and pounds now on the top of the head. These two who really went at each other. Jim Nelson calling Jack Briscoe a coward, and Jack rolls right out from under that knee. And it looks like now he's going to go with a figure four. Here's Jack Briscoe, and now here's Jerry Briscoe on that top rope. Right down across Jim Nelson's leg and knee. As Jack got him in the figure four, and now there's Jerry Briscoe taking his coat off. The Briscoe brothers simply going wild. Jim Nelson, who really baited Jack into a match, and Jack's going to put the figure four on him again. Again, he's going to put it on that leg, and again now, as he continues to apply the pressure, here comes Johnny Weaver in the ring, Mike Rotundo, Rufus Jones, Jimmy Valiant, and Jack Briscoe right here. And
they come out here preaching to us. Nelson comes out preaching. You know, the thing about it, all they can do is complain, come out preaching one way, try to convert us. The only way, Bob, to win those World Tag Team Championships is to prove that we're the #1 contender.
Jim Nelson's finished. I felt the knee go.
All right, Johnny Weaver.
I thought it was accident. I can't believe you guys stooped that low.
Don't preach to us. We going better.
You will, I will get back in there and check on it. He's my partner.
There you go.
There you go, Bob. When I had that figure four on him,
Yeah, Jack.
and Jerry jumped across there, I felt the knee go. Believe me, Jim Nelson's finished. You'll never see him be wrestling around here again.
Come on, brother.
And Jack Briscoe now hits Valiant, and they both pick him up and slam him to the floor. Now Briscoe slamming Valiant to the concrete floor, grab their jackets, and out they go. And Valiant down on the floor, really slammed and hurt, and fans still they're attending Jim Nelson in the ring, and we'll be back right after we take this time out. There's the Magic Dragon, the great Kabuki, Gary Hart right here. Gary, when do you think these two are going to be champions, Gary?
Well, let me say this. As soon as some of these prima donnas around here want to put their titles on the line against a great team or a great individual, that is when we will become champions. But as long as these suckers are running, you know, you can't take a belt unless somebody settles down. But one thing I have taken care of personally, as you can see right here, my man, this here, what I have here, is a legal document. It is a legal injunction against any and all participants against the great Kabuki from wearing any type of plastic or glass goggles for one and one reason only. And I want everyone to understand my purpose. I do not want anyone to get hurt by glass. Injunction, you don't wear them, baby, no matter what. You understand? Injunction. Official.
You know, it's a sickening thing that the National Wrestling Alliance has taken fit to take me and suspend me like I'm some kind of common criminal, like I've done something unjust. You know, I never asked Johnny Weaver to step foot in the ring and try to interfere in something he had no business in doing so. Well, Johnny Weaver accidentally slipped on his head, and now he's running around with a neck brace, and the National Wrestling Alliance take fit to suspend me. Well, okay, well, I'll be a good boy for a little while. But you can't change me, and you're not going to change me. You can suspend me forever as far as I'm concerned, but I will get back in that ring because I am going to go through every legal channel that I can go through to get there. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Joe LeDuc, Johnny Weaver, or anybody else, when I come back, I'm going to be ready.
All right, fans, and in the ring right now, you're looking at the big Canadian Joe LeDuc, and of course that was Dick Slater. Slater commenting on his 30-day suspension by the NWA for putting the pile driver on Johnny Weaver. And while this match with Rick Connor and Joe LeDuc is taking place in the ring, right here ringside with us, Johnny Weaver. And Johnny, I know that's the first time that you've had an opportunity to hear those comments from Dick Slater.
Well, it certainly is. There are strong comments, of course, and I know he's going to be upset about the suspension, but it's got to be a line drawn somewhere. There's got to be some of these things stopped. We just had Jim Nelson maybe right here in the ring, maybe injured with a bad knee, and it was just totally uncalled for. The thing with Slater, as he said, I did interfere because him and Valentine were 2-on-1 on Joe LeDuc. And it's got to be a line drawn somewhere. A suspension is a thing that they thinking of. I'm sure they'll be looked into at the Briscoes now for what they just did to Jim. But
well, and we mentioned earlier too, Johnny, the thing about it, that pile driver definitely is illegal.
It's an illegal hold to start with, and it seems that they used to hit the guys with heavy fines, but it seems that like the Slaughter and some of these others, that fine didn't mean anything. But maybe the suspension will. I don't know if 30 days is long enough. I know there's some individuals like Joe LeDuc, who has a run-in with Slater, would like to see him back right away. Well, but let's just give it time and see if the suspension is the answer. Fines certainly aren't anymore.
And Joe LeDuc right there just showed you what a big, strong, powerful man he is. Johnny, when he took that Rick Connor, lifted him right in the air and just threw him almost across the ring.
Connors is not a small individual neither. He weighs about 230. Joe LeDuc, very powerful. You can tell by the way he's built. Just tremendous upper body strength, and rugged individual, and should add he's a television champion at the present time.
That's right. And Johnny, while we're talking about Dick Slater and the fact that he injured you with that pile driver, what about guys? It seems like now that injury is what some of the people and some of the wrestlers are trying to do to others. Now, Greg Valentine, who injured Roddy Piper, and Greg is just sort of boasting about it, you know. Well, Wahoo McDaniel, a man that he hurt before. Wahoo's going to be back very shortly. So I think some of them are doing that.
Injuries are commonplace. So we're going to get aches and pains and cuts and bruises every time we go in there. Everybody knows that. It's just some of the times the way that they're accomplishing and doing, like Briscoe jumping on Jim Nelson when he wasn't even interfering in the match. Jim was wrestling Jack Briscoe. Jerry's the guy that dive off a top turnbuckle. And things like this is what's got to be looked into. It was Slater wrestling Joe LeDuc when Valentine interfered. That's why I just tried to break it up. I didn't try to get in there and fight with either one of them. I just tried to break it up from 2-on-1. And we get a pile driver out on a concrete floor.
All right, Connor landing some big blows right here, and they aren't even stunning.
Don't phase the big rugged lumberjack.
Big LeDuc, that's right. Very quickly, let me ask you this: What do you think is happening to Jack and Jerry Briscoe? Johnny, they were your friends. They've been friends with almost everybody.
Well, I confronted them down here and asked them that same question, Bob. All I could get out of them was, "Don't preach to me. I'm doing what I want to do." I don't know. I know one thing is that they've never had the World Tag Team belt. That's the one thing they've never had. Maybe this is they've been around a long time. Maybe this is the avenue they've chosen to go to get that last accomplishment that they really need, because Jack's already been a World Heavyweight Champion. The only thing they haven't held is the World Tag Team Championship, and maybe they feel fit that at this point in their career with two great young stars like Youngblood and Steamboat hanging on to the titles right now, that this is what they've got to do to get that one goal that they haven't achieved so far.
All right, LeDuc now. after that slam on Connor. Went to the chin and is going to be back to the ropes again, so we're going to get a break. And here's Connor now. He's just driving that shoulder right into the midsection, Johnny.
Fine counter there because LeDuc was ready for a punch. He had his hand cocked. He was ready to look for a punch from Connor, but Connor came in with that shoulder and has changed the tide of battle.
This big man can really take a blow, though.
He's getting a little upset right now.
He really is.
He's getting
Watch
a little
out.
upset right
Boy,
now.
you can see the fire in his eyes.
Connor's going to backpedal a little bit, try to cool him off. He knows.
Oh, it's just a big left hand right around the neck and the throat.
And a hard right knocks Connors to the mat. Right hard on the back of his head. He's going to deliver another one from right field. That's going to take a little out of Rick Connors.
Johnny, I don't want to forget this. And before you get gone, I think I really ought to do this for all of the fans because I know they're wanting to know this too. You're still wearing that neck brace. We talked about Slater being suspended for pile driving you. How is that neck coming along at this stage?
Much better. The brace is just for support. I haven't missed a wrestling match yet. I want Mr. Slater to know that. I've carried out every one of commitments, and I'll be fine if and when he comes back.
All right, right there. That's good news, Johnny Weaver, as Joe LeDuc had Connor to the air, slammed him down across the knee. Right here, watching for this backbreaker. He then will cover him with a press and hook the leg for the count of 3. All right, and fans right here, and I mean, Paul, that is gorgeous. Paul Jones in that tuck.
I don't know why. Every time you admire my clothes, I get embarrassed.
Oh, you do? Huh? Black, white, that red carnation, and that red bow tie.
A lot of people take me the wrong way. And I think I try to figure it out. I stay up at night, Bob, trying to figure out why people dislike #1 Paul Jones. And I finally come to the conclusion, I think that I'm not on their level. I have too much class for them. See, they can relate to somebody on their level, somebody that drinks beer, and they can go out, chase women and whatnot. See, that's their level. I'm above their level, looking down my nose.
Do you talk down to them also, Paul, other than look down at them?
I have nothing to do with them because I only mess with people on my level. And some people say, well, you're arrogant, conceited, sure yourself. Well, if you had Dory Funk Jr. and Jake the Snake Roberts, you would be in my shoes. You would be wearing the best. Because I tell you one thing, they have so much class, and they're up here on my level. I manage no one below my level. I make them a lot of promises, and I keep the promise because I know that they have the ability to fulfill the promise that I make them. Dory Funk Jr., the Mid-Atlantic champion. I promised him he had the ability. He now wears that belt proudly. Snake Robert, he has a ton of ability, and I made him a ton of promises, and he's going to get out there, and we're going to get it done. I don't sit at ringside just to look pretty. I sit there to give my men verbal advice, and they make my job easy because they don't need much advice because they had, like I said, a ton of ability. And I guarantee you people watching this TV set right now, if you're not in the area where you're able to experience Dory Funk Jr. and Snake Roberts in the ring, you're missing an awful lot. But then again, we cannot help that.
All right, fans, and that's it right here ringside. All right, fans, you're looking at the corner right there with Paul Jones and his two wrestlers, Dory Funk Jr., a Mid-Atlantic champ right there, and Jake the Snake Roberts. In tag team action right here against Keith Larson, and from Japan, the Japanese star Masa Fuji. So Keith Larson now will start it off against Snake Roberts. And Roberts, who is a tall, wiry individual, but a very strong and powerful man, and who has a very deadly knee lift. A tremendous amount of power in the knee lift from Snake. Roberts with a takedown, head to shoulders to the mat for a quick count of 1. Larson quickly kicked out. Fans, I hope you were able to see the interview we had earlier with Roddy Piper talking about his injury, of course, from Greg Valentine. Also with Wahoo McDaniel, as Wahoo McDaniel, the Indian Chief, very soon will be back on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. And another wrestler that we look forward to seeing, Bob Orton Jr., also will be here soon. Roberts reaches right under, gets that leg, and held the ropes. Larson was right ready to give him the backflip. Snake right now reaches back for the tag to Dory Funk Jr. Paul Jones right here. Paul, a couple of really good fellas right here that are going to really test you or two. This Masafuji's a very good athlete, and this Keith Larson, who has really come on in recent months and has a ton of ability.
You're absolutely right, Bob. Dory Funk Jr. and Snake Roberts. I can't say too much about them right now because I'm enjoying their talent myself, and I'm sure the people at home are just doing the same thing I'm doing, just spellbound for their ability. Two great wrestlers, the uncrowned heavyweight champions.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said you had promised him. Oh, and Funk had him right up for that suplex. You said you'd made him a ton of promises, Paul.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on those? What are some of the promises that you've made to Snake Roberts and Dory Funk Jr.? Have you promised them such things as championships, or does it all relate to money and cars and things of that nature?
You know, Bob, I know what you're getting at. You're referring to the World Tag Team Champion belts, right? See there, your subconscious mind is telling you they're championship material. They're probably the uncrowned champions of the world. But I tell you, I cannot stand here and reveal everything that I promised both these men because I might be blocked somewhere down the road. You understand? It's every man for himself. And if I sit here and tell you my game plan, and somebody else, one of the other wrestlers here, then I may be blocked. So that's why I have such a terrific mind, because I am thinking, see, these two men depend on me 100%, and I will not let them down.
All right, there's Snake down from a good block coming off the rope. Another collision as Larson had a full head of steam coming off of the ropes and is gone now with the arm bar. Here's Funk. Oh, he went a finger and the thumb right into the eye, Paul.
No. That was a flat hand against the head.
All right, he's made the tag. Here is Dory Funk Jr. now back in. And Funk, who can hit you with that forearm, I believe, as hard as any man in wrestling.
Well, that's right. You know, a lot of men use their fists, but Funk uses the forearm because it's more devastating. He can pack more power. Oh, I thought that was it right there, Bob. He can pack more power with the forearm than his fists.
Each one of them possesses what I call a deadly weapon, that forearm of Funk's and that knee lift that the Snake can put on you.
Oh, that knee lift is brutal. I tell you, every time that he uses that knee lift, I just get goosebumps all over because I know that the match is all over and we can go home.
Oh, Funk was going to go with the elbow. He had it all ready for him. Oh, and very quickly a count of two on Dory Funk Jr. as Larson caught him coming off of the ropes. The tag now and the switch. Here is Roberts.
You'll notice my two boys will tag in and out like tag matches are supposed to be.
All right, Roberts picks him up, just throws him hard to the mat. When Roberts gets you up for a slam, you're about 7 feet in the air.
Exactly.
He's a tall one, Paul.
Exactly. You're way up there. I thought that was going to be pinned right there, but it's obvious Larson has just a little bit too much energy.
That face, he's going to make the tag again. Funk's going to come in after that tag. Oh. Elbow now right down across the throat in the windpipe. Oh, no, he kicked right out, Paul. That wasn't it.
You got to hand it to Larson. He has a lot of fight in him.
That time he got caught with the elbow. Earlier he managed to duck under it. That time Funk had it right on target.
There's a salto. Salto will take a lot out of a man.
But again, that young man kicks right out at the count of two.
I'm just very impressed with these two men. The ability, and see, there's a tag in and out, fresh man in. I teach him well, don't I, Bob?
Larson leaping over the back. He was going to roll Roberts over. Roberts saw that one coming. He had a fist right to the face.
You're exactly right, Bob. He was gonna.
All All right, slam, the elbow now from Snake. Here's an elbow from Dory Funk Jr. Funk back again with the elbow. They just keep driving that elbow right in.
You know, I noticed one thing in my two boys. They love to punish.
Oh, they do that. Is that something that has been instilled in them by number one?
Yes, it has. See, I told anytime that someone wants to sign a match with them, when those guys leave the ring, I want them to remember that match. And I want them to hurt for weeks afterwards.
Right in the air. Funk with the suplex. Larson
I hope he tagged.
came
Yeah,
down
beautiful,
hard
beautiful.
right
I'm
down
ready.
the base of that neck. Here's the tag now to Roberts. Roberts now just slapping and pawing at him, saying, get up and fight.
I love it when they punish an underdog.
And he's going to fight. Larson reached way back. He got some strength from way down deep to come with a couple of good hard right hands. A lot of fight in this young man. Tremendous blow right there by Roberts.
Larson reminds me of a truck tire with about 5 pounds of air in it. About all he's got left.
All right, Roberts now with a foot as Larson was coming off of the ropes. Again, he's going to go make the tag to Funk. Well, he got between Larson and Fuji that time, did Snake Roberts, just so he couldn't get over for a tag.
Beautiful tagging, in and out.
Dory Funk Jr. all the way back to the corner to get a little extra speed and height in that elbow, and then missed it. Oh, knee lift. Oh. Well, he had him almost in a standing surfboard or something.
He sure did. There was no place to. He couldn't even blink his eyes hardly. He was. Do it. Do it. Good night, Irene.
Yes, sir. When Roberts drives that head to the mat, it is good night, Paul. They don't get up from that. The winners, the Snake Roberts, Dory Funk Jr. That was a devastating. I thought that knee lift probably was the most devastating thing that the Snake could do, but that it compares with it.
That was real devastating, but I have something more devastating for the people here tonight. You know something? You people, there's a lot of people out there, Bob, that have preconceived ideas of number one Paul Jones. But tonight, after I show you for the next couple of minutes what I have for you, you will change your ideas of me and your opinion of my two men. Now, I get a lot of cards and letters of people asking me to send them an autographed 8x10 picture of me in my tuxedo. Well, it's virtually impossible for me to sit down and send everybody a picture. The cost would be so much, not to even mention the postage. But what I have done, I sit down nights and nights to try to think of something where I could make at least one person happy. And I've come up with what I call a dream contest. Only one person will be happy, but that's the best I could do. Now, in order to enter this contest, this is it right here.
But is this the prize, Paul?
This is the prize.
Oh, my goodness.
This is called Paul Jones' Dream Contest. Now, here's all you have to do to enter. Listen closely. All you have to do, get a pencil. All you have to do is write down 25 words or less why you would love to own this poster, this picture rather. 25 words or less. I ask only one thing. Only one card or letter per person. Please, it's not asking too much. And I want to say this, Jim Crockett Promotions, this man here is not affiliated with this contest at all. It's mine. Therefore, Jim Crockett, you, Bob, any other wrestlers, feel free to enter if you want to. Right. Okay, I'm not, yes. I'm not barring anybody from this contest.
Hey, Paul, and I think we got we had the address right there on the screen just a moment ago.
Dream contest.
There it is again. That's right.
Write your letters right to this right here. Get them in a hurry because somebody, the unique thing about this, it's only one of a kind. When this goes into your home, this will be the only one. And believe me, I know you're excited. I know you changed your whole idea about me and my men. And I know you're shocked about me having a contest like this.
I can't believe that. I mean, I really can't.
I know it's something. It's Bob. It's me.
It's everyone's dream come true, even mine and Dory. We're looking forward to getting in it ourselves, Paul.
And I tell you what, now all I ask is 1 card or letter per person. They will be read, judged, and I personally, Paul Jones, #1, will pick out a winner. I'm so excited. It's just like Christmas in May. But believe me, and you're also changed the ideas of these 2 men right here, because they have a lot of compassion for you people, whether you know it or not. I tell you, they have compassion for people. They have compassion for animals. If they saw a dog was injured on the side of the road, they would run over him just to take him out of his misery.
What about compassion for an opponent in the ring, Paul?
Hey, it's dog eat dog in that ring. And these men, I have made them a ton of promises, and I'm going to keep up to them. And I tell you, each man for himself in the ring. But just remember, get those cards and letters in a hurry, because I don't know how long this contest will last.
All right, fans, and that'll do it for this week. And until next week, so long for now.